Soľ nad zlato. Ľudová rozprávka. Bol raz jeden kráľ. Mal 3 céry a veľmi ich miloval. Kráľ už bol starý. Nohy ho neposlúchali a vlasy mal biele ako sneh. Často premýšľal, ktorá z jeho 3 dcér bude po jeho smrti kráľovnou. Nebolo ľahké vybrať si. Všetky 3 céry boli krásne. Kráľ ich miloval rovnako. Nakoniec sa rozhodol, trón dostane tá dcéra, ktorá ho má najradšej. Zavolal si céry a povedal im: dievčatá moje, som už starý. Neviem, koľko času mi ešte zostáva. Chcem vedieť, ktorá z vás po mne bude kráľovnou. Najprv chcem vedieť jednu vec, ako veľmi ma máte rady. Najstaršia, povedz mi prvá, ako ľúbiš svojho otca? Oteckou, odpovedala najstaršia dcéra a poboskala mu ruku. Ste mi drahší než všetko zlato na svete. Dobre, a ty, prostredná, ako ľúbiš svojho otca? Otecko drahý, zvolala prostredná dcéra a objala ho okolo krku. Ľúbim vás ako svoj zelený veniec. Aj to je pekné. A ty, najmladšia, ako ma ľúbiš ty? Ja si vás vážim ako soľ, povedala Maruška a s láskou sa mu pozrela do očí. Čo? Vykríkli obe staršie sestry. Ty nevďačnica, tak málo si otca vážiš. Naozaj vás ľúbim ako soľ, zopakovala Maruška pokojne. V jej očiach bola len láska. Otca jej slová nepotešili. Naopak, veľmi sa nahneval. Prečo jeho vlastná dcéra hovorí, že je ako obyčajná soľ? Soľ je lacná vec. Každý ju berie do ruky bez rozmýšľania a sype do jedla. Choď mi z očí, skríkol na ňu. Keď si ma nevážiš viac než tú soľ, choď preč. Vráť sa, až keď bude soľ vzácnejšia než zlato. Potom z teba bude kráľovná. Maruška od smútku nevedela hovoriť. Otec jej takto zranil srdce. Vždy ho poslúchala. Vedela, že v tomto dome pre ňu už nie je miesto. Nechcela zostať so sestrami, ktoré sa jej smiali. Zbalila si teda tašku s pár vecami a odišla. Šla cez hory a doliny, až kým neprišla do hlbokého, tmavého lesa. Zrazu sa pred ňou objavila stará žena. Maruška, Maruška, oslovila ju, kam ideš? Prečo máš oči červené od plaču? Ach, starenka moja, čo vám mám rozprávať? Aj tak mi nemôžete pomôcť. Skús to, možno ti poradím. Vieš, kde je šedina, tam je aj múdrosť. Maruška jej porozprávala celý svoj príbeh. Chcela len jedno, aby raz otec pochopil, akú veľkú lásku k nemu má. Starenka bola v skutočnosti múdra veštica. Vopred vedela, čo jej dievča povie. Prikývla na všetko a hneď jej ponúkla prácu u seba. Maruška bola rada, že našla niekoho, komu sa mohla vyrozprávať. Šla so starenkou do jej domčeka. Domček stál hlboko v lese medzi smrekmi. Nemali veľa, ale delili sa o všetko. Starenka dala Maruške jesť, čo mala. Maruška bola hladná a smedná, tak jej jedlo veľmi chutilo. A teraz, povedala starenka, poďme na vec. Vieš priasť, vieš tkať, vieš pásť ovce a dojiť ich. Ešte nie, starenka. Ale naučím sa, ak mi ukážete ako, odpovedala Maruška. Dobre, ja ťa všetko naučím. Príde na to čas. Raz sa ti to všetko zíde. Maruška sa hneď pustila do práce. Pracovala rýchlo ako výchor. Ešte veľa nevedela, ale rýchlo sa učila. Vyhrnula si rukávy, obliekla si bielu zásterku a bola pripravená pracovať. Doma medzi tým žili sestry pohodlne. Každý deň obletovali okolo otca. Vešali sa mu na krk a hladkali ho. Otec im dával všetko, čo chceli. Najstaršia sa obliekala čoraz drahšie a zdobila sa zlatom. Prostredná robila veľké hostiny a plesy. Obe boli márnomyselné. Robili si, čo sa im zapáčilo, a nemysleli na kráľovstvo ani na ľudí. Kráľ si čoskoro všimol, že najstaršia miluje zlato viac než svojho otca. Prostredná mu raz povedala, že sa chce vydať. Vtedy kráľ pochopil, že aj láska, ako zelený veniec, raz zvedne. Spomenul si aj na Marušku. ale o nej už dávno nebolo počuť. Ach, čo už, zaháňal spomienku na ňu, veď ma ľúbila len ako tú biednu Soľ. Raz sa na zámku chystala veľká hostina. Mali prísť aj nápadníci pre prostrednú dcéru. V tom vbehol kuchár, celý vystrašený. Vaše veličenstvo, vyhrkol, veľké nešťastie. Čo sa deje? Zbláznil si sa, spýtal sa kráľ. Sám neviem, čo sa stalo. Všetka soľ, čo sme mali, zmizla. Ako by sa rozpustila, ako by sa prepadla do zeme. Niet jej ani zrnka. Čím mám teraz soliť? Si blázon. Pošli po ďalšiu soľ. Kdeže pošlem? Soľ zmizla v každom dome. V celej krajine niet po nej ani stopy. Tak var bez soli. Alebo priprav jedlá, ktoré soľ nepotrebujú. Odvetil nahnevaný kráľ a poslal kuchára preč. Kuchár si pomyslel, čo kráľ prikáže, to musím urobiť. Varil teda jedlá bez soli. Najprv varil rôzne jedlá, potom už len sladké. Boli to čudné hostiny, prosté a bez chuti. Hostia postupne prestali chodiť na zámok. Prečo by aj chodili? Chýbala tam aj tá najzákladnejšia vec, ktorú má aj najbiednejší človek. Chlieb so soľou a dobrou vôľou. Kráľ chodil smutný ako tieň. Céry vyzerali uplakané a stratené. Kam sa podeli ich zlaté časy? Zlata mali dosť, ale soli ani zrnko. Aj keby prehľadali celý svet, soľ by nenašli. Zmizla na dobro. Ľuďom pomaly chutilo jesť čoraz menej. Po malom zrnku soli by teraz túžil každý. Trpel aj dobytok. Kravy a ovce prestali dojiť, lebo im chýbala soľ v krmive. Ľudia chodili ako omámení a začali chorľavieť. Aj kráľ so svojimi dcérami vyzerali čoraz horšie. Od choroby by ich vlastná matka nespoznala. Bola to naozajstná pohroma pre celú krajinu. Za jediné zrnko soli by teraz dali zlato hocikomu, kto by ju priniesol. Až teraz kráľ pochopil, aký vzácny je Boží dar, ktorý sa volá soľ. Svoju biedu by možno ešte vydržal. Ale trápilo ho svedomie. Stále myslel na Marušku a na krivdu, ktorú jej spôsobil. Maruške sa medzi tým darilo veľmi dobre. Naučila sa každú prácu, do ktorej sa pustila. O biede nevedela nič. Netušila, čo sa deje v otcovskom dome a v celej krajine. Ale múdra žena vedela o všetkom. Vedela aj, kedy je na čo čas. Raz zavolala Marušku k sebe a povedala jej. Dievča moje, hovorila som ti, že jeden deň dobehne druhý. Hovorila som ti, že sa raz svet obráti. Tvoj čas prišiel. Je čas vrátiť sa domov. Ach, starenka moja drahá. Rozplakala sa Maruška. Ako sa mám vrátiť domov, keď ma otec nechce? Neplač, dievča. Všetko bude dobré. Soľ je teraz vzácnejšia než zlato. Smieš sa vrátiť k otcovi. Veštica jej porozprávala všetko, o čom Maruška ešte nevedela. Na záver dodala. Slúžila si mi verne a poctivo. Povedz mi, čo si žiadaš za svoju službu. Dobre ste ma učili, dobre ste sa o mňa starali, starenka moja. Za všetko vám ďakujem. Nič si nežiadam, len hrst soli. Chcem ju priniesť otcovi. Naozaj nič viac. Veď viem, že by som ti mohla splniť čokoľvek. Pýtala sa ešte raz múdra žena. Nič viac nechcem, len tú soľ. Trvala na svojom Maruška. Nuž, keď si tak vážiš soľ, nech ti nikdy nechýba. Povedala napokon veštica. Dám ti ešte jednu vec. Tento zlatý prútik. Len čo zavanie vietor od juhu, choď za ním. Choď cez 3 doliny a 3 vrchy. Potom sa zastav a udri prútikom o zem. Kde udrieš, tam sa zem otvorí. Vojdi dnu. Čo tam nájdeš, je celé tvoje. To bude tvoje svadobné veno. Maruška sa jej poďakovala za všetko. Vzala si zlatý prútik a plnú tašku soli. Smutne sa vydala na cestu. Bola smutná, lebo u starenky sa jej žilo dobre. Ale tešila sa, že to nie je lúčenie navždy. Verila, že sa raz vráti, len čo sa s otcom uzmieria. Cestou jej starenka ešte povedala. Zostaň taká, aká si, dievča moje. Zostaň dobrá a poctivá. Dobre sa ti bude vodiť už navždy. O mňa sa vôbec neboj. Kým takto rozprávali, došli na kraj lesa. Maruška sa chcela starenke ešte raz poďakovať. Ale po nej už nebolo ani stopy. Zmizla, ako keď vietor odfúkne dým. Maruška zostala sama. No srdce jej teraz ešte väčšmi ťahalo k otcovi. Rýchlym krokom sa vydala späť ku kráľovskému zámku. Keď prišla medzi svojich, nikto ju nespoznal. Dávno ju nevideli. Navyše mala hlavu zavinutú šatkou. Nechceli ju ani pustiť pred kráľa. Prosím, pustite ma, naliehala Maruška. Nesiem kráľovi dar vzácnejší než zlato. Taký dar, ktorý ho iste vylieči. Zvesť sa doniesla ku kráľovi. Ten hneď prikázal, nech ju pustia dnu. Keď predstúpila pred neho, poprosila o chlieb. Kráľ ho dal priniesť, ale ťažko si povzdychol. Chlieb máme, len soľ nám chýba. Čo chýba, to sa dá napraviť, povedala Maruška. Odkrojila kúsok chleba, rozviazala tašku, posypala chlieb soľou a podala ho kráľovi. Soľ, zvolal kráľ radostne. Ženička moja, to je vzácny dar. Ako sa ti odmením? Žiadaj si čokoľvek, dostaneš to. Nič nechcem, otecko. Len ma majte radi, tak ako tú soľ, povedala Maruška hlasom, akým kedysi hovorila k otcovi. Odkryla si tvár. Kráľ takmer omdlel od radosti. Spoznal v nej svoju milovanú Marušku. Prosil ju o odpustenie za všetko, čo sa stalo. Ona ho len objímala a hladkala. Oči od neho ani na chvíľu neotrala. Veď sa to všetko dobre skončilo, povedala mu. Zvesť, že sa kráľova najmladšia dcéra vrátila a priniesla soľ, sa rýchlo rozšírila po zámku aj po celom meste. Radovali sa všetci. Radovali sa aj Maruškine sestry. Ale viac než sestre samotnej sa tešili tej soli. Dúfali, že sa aj im z nej ujde aspoň trochu. Maruška im nepripomínala krivdy, čo jej kedysi spôsobili. Privítala ich kúskom osoleného chleba. Každému, kto prišiel, dala zo svojej tašky soľ. Otec sa obával, aby opäť nezostali bez soli. Napomínal ju, pomaly s tým dobrým. Ale Maruška mu vždy odpovedala. Ešte jej je dosť, otecko. A naozaj, nech dala akokoľvek veľa, v taške jej vždy zostávalo dosť pre každého. Ako by sa soľ nikdy nemala minúť. Všetko naokolo akoby ožilo, ako by ho zaliali slnečné lúče. Aj kráľa opustila choroba. Ako by mu ju niekto zložil z pliec. V radosti nad tým zvolal starešinou mesta i celej krajiny. Vyhlásil Marušku za kráľovnú. A práve vo chvíli, keď ju vyhlasovali za kráľovnú pod holým nebom, pocítila na tvári teplý vánok. Bol to vietor od juhu. Hneď povedala otcovi o všetkom, čo jej múdra žena poradila. Vydala sa za vetrom. Prešla 3 doliny a 3 vrchy. Zastala, udrela prútikom o zem, a zem sa pred ňou rozostúpila. Maruška vošla priamo do zeme. Zrazu sa ocitla vo veľkom paláci. Sama nevedela ako. Palác bol celý akoby z ľadu, strop, steny, podlaha, všetko sa trblietalo a iskrilo. Vyzeralo to, ako by dážď hviezd zamrzol vo vzduchu. Po stranách sa tiahli žiarivé chodby. Z nich vybiehali drobní ľudkovia s horiacimi lampášikmi. Vítali Marušku. Vitaj, vitaj, kráľovná naša. Už sme ťa čakali. Naša pani nám prikázala, aby sme ťa všade poprevádzali a všetko ti ukázali. Veď je to teraz všetko tvoje. Ľudkovia obletovali Marušku so svojimi lampášikmi. Liezli hore-dole po stenách ako malé mušky. Steny sa leskli okolo dokola ako drahokamy. Maruška kráčala a nemohla uveriť vlastným očiam. Oslepila ju taká krása. Ľudkovia ju viedli chodbami a sieňami. Zo stropu viseli ľadové cencúle, trblietajúce sa ako čisté striebro. Zaviedli ju aj do záhrady. Tam kvitli červené ľadové ruže, stokrásky a najrozličnejšie kvety. Také krásne kvety svet ešte nevidel. Jeden z ľudkov otrhol najkrajšiu ružu a podal ju svojej novej kráľovnej. Maruška si ju privoňala, ale rúža nevoňala. Čo je to za zázrak? Spýtala sa kráľovná. Takú krásu som v živote nevidela. Toto všetko je soľ. Odpovedali jej ľudkovia. Naozaj, toto je soľ, ktorá tu rastie. Žasla kráľovná. Pomyslela si, že by bola škoda otrhnúť čo i len kúsok z tejto krásy. Ale ľudkovia uhádli jej myšlienky a zvolali. Len ber, Maruška. Ber si, koľko chceš. Nikdy sa jej nedoberieš, nikdy ti jej nebude chýbať. Maruška im pekne poďakovala, rozlúčila sa a vyšla späť na povrch. Zem však za ňou ostala otvorená. Keď sa vrátila domov, ukázala otcovi ružu a porozprávala mu všetko. Kráľ pochopil, že tá starenka z lesnej chalúbky obdarovala jeho dcéru bohatším svadobným venom, než by jej on sám kedy mohol dať. Ale ani Maruška na starenku nezabudla. Dala hneď zapriahnuť kone do najkrajšieho koča. Spolu s otcom sa vydala hľadať svoju dobrodinku. Rozhodla sa, že ju už nikdy neopustí. Maruška poznala cestu naspamäť. Poznala v lese každý chodníček. Ale hoci les prehľadali 100-krát krížom krážom, po chalúbke nebolo ani stopy. Po starenke tiež nebolo ani chýru. Až vtedy pochopili, kým tá starenka naozaj bola. Pochopili, že hľadať ju by bolo márne. Vrátili sa teda domov. Taška, ktorú im starenka darovala, bola už prázdna. Ale Maruška teraz vedela, kde soľ rastie. Spolu s ľuďmi zo svojej krajiny si ju chodili brať znova a znova. A nikdy sa im neminula a nikdy im už nechýbala.
Salt over gold. A Slovak folk tale. Once there was a king. He had 3 daughters and he loved them very much. The king was already old. His legs did not obey him well, and his hair was white as snow. He often thought, which of his 3 daughters would become queen after his death? It was not easy to choose. All 3 daughters were beautiful. The king loved them equally. In the end, he decided, the throne would go to the daughter who loved him the most. He called his daughters to him and said, "My girls, I am old now. I don't know how much time I have left. I want to know which of you will be queen after me. First, I want to know one thing. How much do you love me? Eldest, tell me first. How do you love your father?" "Father," answered the eldest daughter, and she kissed his hand. "You are dearer to me than all the gold in the world." "Good. And you, my middle daughter, how do you love your father?" "Dear father," cried the middle daughter, and she hugged him around the neck. "I love you like my green wreath." "That is nice too. And you, youngest, how do you love me?" "I value you like salt," said Marushka, and she looked at him with love in her eyes. "What?" cried the 2 older sisters. "You ungrateful girl. Is that all our father is worth to you?" "I really do love you like salt," Marushka repeated calmly. There was only love in her eyes. Her father was not pleased by her words. In fact, he became very angry. Why did his own daughter say she loved him like ordinary salt? Salt is a cheap thing. Everyone takes it without thinking and sprinkles it on food. "Get out of my sight," he shouted at her. "If you don't value me more than that poor salt, then go away. Come back only when salt is worth more than gold. Then you will be queen." Marushka was too sad to speak. Her father had hurt her heart. She had always obeyed him. She knew there was no place for her in this house anymore. She did not want to stay with sisters who laughed at her. So she packed a bag with a few things and left. She walked through mountains and valleys until she came to a deep, dark forest. Suddenly, an old woman appeared before her. "Marushka, Marushka," she said. "Where are you going? Why are your eyes red from crying?" "Oh, old woman, why would I tell you? You cannot help me anyway. Just try me. Maybe I can give you advice. Don't you know that where there is grey hair, there is also wisdom?" Marushka told her the whole story. She wanted only one thing, that one day her father would understand how much she truly loved him. The old woman was, in fact, a wise fortune-teller. She already knew what the girl would say. She nodded at everything and immediately offered her work. Marushka was glad to find someone she could cry to. She went with the old woman to her little house. The house stood deep in the forest among the spruce trees. They did not have much, but they shared everything. The old woman gave Marushka what food she had. Marushka was hungry and thirsty, so the food tasted very good to her. "Now," said the old woman, "let's get to work. Can you spin? Can you weave? Can you herd sheep and milk them?" "Not yet, old woman. But I will learn, if you show me how," answered Marushka. "Good, I will teach you everything. The time will come. One day, all of this will be useful to you." Marushka got to work right away. She worked fast, like a whirlwind. She did not know much yet, but she learned quickly. She rolled up her sleeves, put on a white apron, and was ready to work. At home, meanwhile, the sisters lived comfortably. Every day they hovered around their father. They hung around his neck and stroked him. Their father gave them everything they wanted. The eldest dressed in more and more expensive clothes and decorated herself with gold. The middle daughter held big feasts and dances. Both were proud and thought only of their own pleasures. They did whatever they wanted and did not think about the kingdom or the people. The king soon noticed that the eldest loved gold more than her own father. The middle daughter once told him she wanted to get married. Then the king understood that even love like a green wreath would fade one day. He also remembered Marushka. But no one had heard from her in a long time. Never mind," he told himself, pushing away the memory of her. "She only loved me like that poor salt." One day, a great feast was being prepared at the castle. Suitors were even coming for the middle daughter. Suddenly, the chef ran in, completely frightened. "My king," he cried. "A great disaster. What is happening? Have you gone mad?" asked the king. "Your Majesty, I don't know what happened. All the salt we had has disappeared. It's as if it melted, as if it sank into the ground. There isn't even a single grain left. What am I supposed to salt with now?" "You are a fool. Send for more." "Where should I send for it? Salt has disappeared from every house. There is no trace of it in the whole kingdom. Then cook without it. Or prepare food that doesn't need salt," replied the angry king, and he sent the chef away. The chef thought to himself, "Whatever the king orders, I must do." So he cooked food without salt. First he cooked all kinds of dishes, then only sweet ones. These were strange feasts, bland and tasteless. Little by little, the guests stopped coming to the castle. Why would they come? The castle lacked even the most basic thing that even the poorest person has: bread with salt and goodwill. The king walked around the castle sad as a shadow. His daughters looked tearful and lost. Where had their golden days gone? They had plenty of gold, but not a single grain of salt. Even if they searched the whole world, they would not find any. It had disappeared for good. People slowly lost their appetite for food. Everyone now longed for even a tiny pinch of salt. The animals suffered too. Cows and sheep stopped giving milk because their feed lacked salt. People wandered around as if in a daze, and one by one, they fell ill. Even the king and his daughters looked worse and worse. Their own mother would not have recognized them because of the illness. It was a true disaster for the whole kingdom. For a single grain of salt, people would now pay gold to anyone who brought it. Only now did the king understand what a precious gift from God salt truly was. He might have endured his misery, but his conscience troubled him constantly. He kept thinking of Marushka, and of the wrong he had done to her. Meanwhile, things were going very well for Marushka. She had learned every task she needed. She knew nothing of hardship. She had no idea what was happening in her father's house and in the whole kingdom. But the wise woman knew everything. She also knew when the right time for something had come. So one day, she called Marushka to her and said, "My girl, I told you that one day follows another, and that the world would turn around one day. Your time has come. It is time to go home. Oh, my dear old woman. Marushka began to cry. How can I go home when my father doesn't want me? Don't cry, girl. Everything will be fine. Salt is now worth more than gold. You may go back to your father. The fortune teller told her everything Marushka did not yet know. At the end, she added, You have served me faithfully and honestly. Now tell me, what do you wish for your service? You taught me well, you took good care of me, dear old woman. I thank you for everything. I ask for nothing, only a handful of salt, so I can bring it to my father. Really nothing more. You know I could grant you anything. The wise woman asked again. I want nothing more, only that salt. Marushka insisted. Well, since you value salt so much, may you never lack it, the fortune teller said at last. I will give you one more thing, this golden wand. As soon as the wind blows from the south, follow it. Go across 3 valleys and 3 hills. Then stop and strike the wand on the ground. Where you strike, the earth will open. Go inside. Whatever you find there will be yours. It will be your wedding dowry. Marushka thanked her for everything. She took the golden wand and a full bag of salt, and sadly set off on her journey. She was sad because she had lived well with the old woman. But she was comforted by the thought that this was not a final goodbye, that she would return one day, as soon as she and her father made peace. Along the way, the old woman said to her once more, Stay as you are, my girl. Stay good and honest, and life will be good to you forever. Don't worry about me at all. While they were talking like this, they reached the edge of the forest. Marushka wanted to thank the old woman once more, but there was no trace of her left. She had vanished, as if the wind had blown away smoke. Marushka was alone now, but her heart pulled her toward her father even more strongly. With quick steps, she set off back to the royal castle. When she arrived among her own people, no one recognized her. They had not seen her in a long time. Besides, she had her head wrapped in a scarf. They would not even let her see the king. Please, let me in. Marushka insisted. I am bringing the king a gift more precious than gold. A gift that will surely cure him. Word reached the king, and he immediately ordered that she be let in. When she stood before him, she asked for bread. The king had it brought, but he sighed heavily. We have bread, but we have no salt. What is missing can be fixed, said Marushka. She cut a piece of bread, untied her bag, sprinkled the bread with salt, and gave it to the king. Salt. The king cried joyfully, My dear woman, this is a precious gift. How can I reward you? Ask for anything, and you shall have it. I want nothing, father. Just love me, the way you love salt, said Marushka, in the voice she used to speak to her father with. She uncovered her face. The king almost fainted from joy. He recognized his beloved Marushka in her. He begged her forgiveness for everything that had happened. She only hugged and stroked him, never taking her eyes off him for a moment. It all ended well after all, she told him. The news that the king's youngest daughter had returned, bringing salt with her, spread quickly through the castle and the whole city. Everyone rejoiced. Marushka's sisters rejoiced too. But they were happier about the salt than about their sister. They hoped that some of it would reach them too. Marushka did not remind them of the wrongs they had once done to her. She welcomed them with a piece of salted bread. She gave salt from her bag to everyone who came. Her father worried that they would run out of salt again. He warned her, Slowly now, don't give it all away. But Marushka always answered, There is still plenty left, father. And indeed, no matter how much she gave, there was always enough left in the bag for everyone. It was as if the salt would never run out. Everything around seemed to come back to life, as if bathed in sunshine. Even the king's illness left him, as if someone had lifted it from his shoulders. In his joy, he called together the elders of the city and the whole kingdom, and he declared Marushka queen. And at the very moment they proclaimed her queen under the open sky, she felt a warm breeze on her face. It was the wind from the south. She immediately told her father everything the wise woman had told her. She followed the wind, and when she had crossed 3 valleys and 3 hills, she stopped, struck the wand on the ground, and the earth opened before her. Marushka stepped straight into the ground. Suddenly she found herself in a great palace. She did not know how she got there. The whole palace looked as if made of ice. The ceiling, the walls, the floor, everything sparkled and glittered. It looked as if a rain of stars had frozen in the air. Shining corridors stretched along the sides, and out of them ran tiny little people carrying burning lanterns. They welcomed Marushka. "Welcome, welcome, our queen. We have been waiting for you. Our lady told us to show you around and show you everything. After all, it is all yours now." The little people fluttered around her with their lanterns. They climbed up and down the walls like tiny flies. The walls glittered all around like jewels. Marushka walked on and could not believe her own eyes. The little people led her through corridors and halls, where icicles hung from the ceiling, sparkling like pure silver. They also took her into a garden, where red icy roses bloomed, along with daisies and all kinds of flowers the world had never seen before. One of the little people picked the most beautiful rose and gave it to their new queen. Marushka smelled it, but the rose had no scent. "What kind of wonder is this?" the queen asked. "I have never seen such beauty in my life. All of this is salt." The little people answered, "Really? This is the salt that grows here." The queen wondered. She thought it would be a shame to pick even the smallest piece of this beauty. But the little people guessed her thoughts and called out, "Just take it, Marushka. Take as much as you want. You will never run out of it. You will never lack it." Marushka thanked them kindly, said goodbye, and went back up to the surface. But the earth remained open behind her. When she came home, she showed her father the rose and told him everything. The king understood that the old woman from the forest cottage had given his daughter a richer wedding dowry than he himself could ever have given her. But Marushka did not forget the old woman either. She had horses harnessed to the finest carriage at once, and together with her father, she set out to find her benefactor. She was determined never to leave her again. Marushka knew the way by heart. She knew every path in the forest. But even though they searched the forest 100 times, back and forth, there was no trace of the cottage. There was no sign of the old woman either. Only then did they understand who the old woman really was, and that searching for her would be useless. So they went back home. The bag the old woman had given them was already empty. But now Marushka knew where salt grows. So, together with the people of her kingdom, they went there again and again to gather it. And they could never get enough of it, and they never lacked it again.